My presentation is going to be in English. I have one Hebrew word. I hope you're going to recognize it with my Swiss spelling. So I'm here because I believe that the blockchain is going to be likely to have the biggest impact on our daily life. And by today, even Wall Street has recognized this. They see great potentials in the blockchain, not only for the industrial industry, but also for other industries. Like Alibaba now is testing the blockchain for supply chain tracking to prevent food fraud. But to better understand the latest developments in this technology, we need to go almost 20 years back. In 1999, we had Milton Friedman saying that there is a need for a reliable e-cash, where you can peer-to-peer share money. Why is that so important? On the internet, you can exchange or copy everything. I liked the picture of Milton Friedman from the website of the Nobel Organization Committee, and I just copied it. And it's here on my presentation. So how can I be sure that someone sending me money over the internet hasn't actually already spent it? So this is called the double spending problem. And until the invention in 2008 of the blockchain, this problem wasn't really solved. So how does the blockchain solve this problem? I don't want to go too much in detail. Simply said, the blockchain is a database of transactions. And the database of transactions is validated and recorded on a decentralized network of computers. And each of those computers do have an immutable record of all these transactions. And only I, which have the password, the so-called private key, can access my money on the blockchain. So this is how the blockchain solved the double spending problem. But what does this mean? Right now, we have a centralized validation of transactions. That means for me as a company, if I buy goods, I have to go to the bank and they're going to validate if I do have the money. And then the company and the customer have to individually validate their internal ledgers. With distributed ledger on a decentralized platform, you can be more efficient because everyone works with the same ledger. So where are we going to be in the future? The community has set the goal. It's going to be always and faster. We're going to have 24/7 access to our money, to our values. We're going to have fast and transparent transactions with really low costs. And this means that we're going to have a fast, efficient, and automatic settlement of microtransactions. And this leads us to the Internet of Things. And even more, we can evolve the Internet of Interaction where we today only interact and exchange information. We can go further because the blockchain allows us to manage our value on a platform. So I can securely store and exchange money on the blockchain, but it goes even further. It's not only good for money, and this is the really cool thing. Everything you can digitize, everything which is of value for someone, you can digitize and then store on the blockchain. So like a vote or a share or intellectual property, even real estate property, you can copy that and digitize it on the blockchain, and then you can start managing it. And the development is in full progress. In Switzerland, there is the Energy Web Foundation. They are building a global network where power plants can be connected directly to energy consumers. On a smaller scale, there are different projects running and startups where they do build microgrids, which allows, for example, my neighbor to charge his Tesla on my solar panel. So I don't need anything behind it. The car requests the energy on the blockchain and pays it automatically. With blockchain, we can even go a bit further. We can start digitizing assets. In Switzerland, we have the Swiss real estate coin, which allows me to buy a part of a Swiss real estate, which means I can, for example, for 1,000 euro, have a part of €1,000,000 Swiss real estate. This is everything done with the blockchain. You can go further. You can start digitizing gold. You can buy a gold coin, and then you can go to the bank and see the gold actually in the Swiss vault of the bank. And if you say, okay, now I want to have the gold, you take the gold and give the coin back. You can even go a step further. You can start to have a digital ID for your car. There is a Swiss consortium where they put all the documents required for a car together and put it on the blockchain. So immediately you have the whole history of your car on the blockchain, and you can manage it there. Now, the core principles of the blockchain enables us to go even a step further, because all the information on the blockchain is encrypted. So only you have access to the data on the blockchain, and only you decide who has access to it. So you could build a data bank, for example, for KYC documents. So if a bank requires you to show them your KYC documents, you just send them the link and allow them, for example, for 10 minutes to have access to your documents. But this, of course, needs a high degree of trust and privacy protection. But this is exactly where the blockchain kicks in. And then you could say, okay, maybe we could do it with today's infrastructure as well. Of course you can do. But the blockchain is specifically built for the fast, provable, and reproducible execution with very low opportunities for fraud and human error. Now, the big problem of today's industry right now, it's kind of the Wild West. But remember, blockchain is a technology. It's what people do with a technology which makes it good or bad. And it's the regulator's task to kind of separate the good from the bad side. It's like with the internet. We do have the dark web, but we also do have the good side of the internet. Today I went out for a walk with my boss, and we just got lost in Tel Aviv. Without the internet, I wouldn't stay here. I would maybe be on the way to Jerusalem. We didn't know where we are. So there is always a good and a bad side, and the regulator needs to separate the good from the bad side. Now, there are some regulators, they say we can't, like India or China. So they just ban the whole development. But what do we have a problem with is it's a decentralized technology. So you only hurt local, legit companies. The bad guys, they will still go for it. So this is maybe not the best way to go with a decentralized technology. You need to understand how it works. So let's go for the American way. The Americans, they said, we're going to write a law, and then they realized, okay, we need another law, there's a law, there's a law. And now if you're a startup in this area, it's really complicated. So you either become a lawyer yourself, or you hire a really expensive lawyer. So this means that you only have professional startups with a good background, with a lot of money, who are able to proceed with their IDs. So you turn down good IDs. But on the other hand, you are able to separate the good from the bad, which is good. But maybe we should go a step back. Maybe we should set some guidelines. In February, Switzerland, or the Swiss regulator, put out some regulations showing the startup, the blockchain startup market, how they're going to be assessed and how they should behave. Now, what do we see here? We do see that we have a separation from the good and the bad, and we also have a prosperity. Because now the companies, they are confident that they are within the law, and you see a flourishing market. And it's also getting further. People or the community, they are starting to self-regulate. So, and after this process, a regulator really understands the technology, and then you can start with a law. So best thing to go, first put down some guidelines and then write the law. Now, the law or the regulation is only one part of a successful blockchain ecosystem. What really matters is a supportive and stable government. You don't want them to change their opinion every month. We do have a really supportive and stable government. But also Israel has a stable and supportive government for new technologies, so it's not a big way to jump to support the blockchain as a technology. Next, we do have a long-lasting involvement in technology development. But also Israel has a long-lasting involvement in those developments. Now, next step. Switzerland has great universities attracting highly talented people. We do have a flourishing startup ecosystem with new great ideas, and we do have partners supporting new development and startups. But again, Israel has this too. So you have also the 5 success factors for our blockchain ecosystem. So, Sababa. Now, just to finish with my short lecture, what are the trends for the future? So, we're gonna see the Internet of Value because we are able to digitize almost everything. And then we can start organizing it on the internet. Next, we're gonna see more and more consortia because what blockchain really needs is the network effect. It's like with LinkedIn. If everyone loses LinkedIn, it's a great tool for business, but if nobody uses LinkedIn, it's just useless. And this is the same, so you're gonna see consortia, companies working together to get the critical mass. And lastly, we're gonna see the blockchain 4.0. The development is going to 0 transaction cost, or almost 0, really fast transactions, and a high transparency of those transactions. So blockchain 4.0 is in the development. And this is why I believe that blockchain might be the technology to change, or the next technology to have an impact on our daily lives. Thank you very much.